Okay, so we've prepared the nail by putting a base coat on first, and we're going to marble. Our last design is marbling. Now what you're going to do when you marble is you choose the colours that you want. Think about, what's going to go with what colours. And what I would say is sometimes what I do, I haven't done at the moment, not on this one, but sometimes what I do is I make sure that I have put one coat of a colour on first. Now, because sometimes natural nail absorbs slightly, and you might find that, you just need to put, so that you've got enough, you just need to put one coat of varnish on first so that you get that full coverage. Notice how the varnish is always held in the palm, okay, and the tops are replaced. Try and leave little spaces between your colour where you're applying so that you're not actually putting your brush back in to the product where you have mixed it. And that can be quite difficult, so you need to make sure that you're being as careful as you possibly can. Otherwise what you'll have is you'll have a whole lot of murky colours instead of nice colours to use. And then what you do is once you've blotted on, what we've got to do is we've got to move that around to blend together. Now white is quite a nice colour to use when you're doing marbling because you get a nice blend of colours through. What we're doing is we're making sure that we've got all the nail covered. I'm just going to clean that off a little bit. Sometimes you need to clean your tool off. And I might have to put a little bit of more orange, I think, on. Let's put a little bit more orange on. And just let that drop onto the nail plate there. And I think I've probably been a little bit mean on that bottom as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit more on there. Marbling takes quite a lot of nail varnish. So, don't be afraid. But the trouble is if you put it all on to begin with, is sometimes you find that it just runs all down into the cuticle and that sort of thing. So it is one of those that it's almost like a gradual build up, but you do need it to have covered all the nail. Sometimes the more you move it about, obviously the more you mix the colours. So depending on how you want it to look, can you see how I'm going round this colour a little bit, because I don't want us actually mix it too much to distort the colour. I quite like sort of like whites and reds. They're quite nice colours to do. Whites and browns, where there's a dramatic difference. I mean, there's a dramatic difference here, but where there's a light and a dark, you'll find that perhaps you get your really nice looks. So if you've got something that, at home where you use for your French manicure, your white, and then a colour, they will be really nice to use. Now, this also takes quite a long time to dry, because you've got to remember that in places it's really quite thick. Okay, so you have to be really careful. I'm going to leave that there like that. Okay, and with marbling, each nail would be slightly different. I don't know where that came from, Miss Minkley, but okay, each nail would be slightly different, because obviously you can't make sure that you've got exactly the same on each one. So it is a design that would be slightly different on each nail. Now, obviously in a minute, when this is dry, I'm going to put a nice top coat on there, and that's going to help to seal the design and obviously put that nice shine on the nail, on the finished look.